Um, Secret Swords, you find yourselves in the upper branches of the Yadahala tree in Kinatra. The tree has been heavily infected by strange mushrooms and other fungal growths, as have some of the people here. Um, but you seem to have dealt with whatever intelligence is in, seem to be in charge. The people, as you've observed them from these upper branches, seem to no longer be hostile or have their wits about themselves. Um, so you're not sure what to do about that. What would you like to do? Actually, I'm gonna go back to here.
We have a discussion about what our next plans were towards the end of the session.
I
Weren't we
I
gonna
think we
try
were
and
in the
warn? Yeah.
sorry, we were in the middle of discussing what we would do, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or like
I
warn.
think.
Oh, you're right. No, we were gonna warn uh Eudaimoniu, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, I think it was brought up that we might ask for, or it might be an idea to ask for, I guess, other assistance from druids because, I mean, that's what Love was saying. Love was saying that it was kind of over his head, the ability to, I guess, heal them from this. That idea was brought up. I don't remember agreeing to anything though.
You do
Well,
see the very beginning of the sun rising on the horizon.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
You see faint pink rays of light as the sun begins to rise on the far horizon.
How tired am I?
I mean, you've been up through most of the night. Um, you went to an inn to rest sometime after nightfall and then didn't, and instead came out to investigate this place. So you've basically gone almost a whole 24 hours without rest.
Allies, may we get somewhere more comfortable? I need a moment to rest, and we can figure out what to do once we get there.
I'm pretty tapped. I don't have any other ways to cure anyone else, so maybe that's a good idea.
I'm not sure I'll be comfortable here. Um, but by all means, we can search for a place.
I was hoping that maybe we could find a safe haven of sorts, but it may not be possible.
Could, of course, barricade ourselves here, um, and take watch, but that's up to you all.
Are we sure that the threat of the spores is no longer? I would hate for us to all wake up and be fungi.
I'm of the mind that spores have been affecting us since we've arrived here, but I don't know.
Maybe it would even be wise to camp outside of the city.
if we're able, I think that's the best course of action.
I agree, just to be safe.
Should Lilavati and I systematically try to destroy as many spores as possible before we rest? I could put out her flames.
Didn't we already do a pass on the mushrooms in the tree? I don't. I think I vaguely remember doing something like that.
I do too, but I can't remember the details.
I think so. So we'll say that you did, and as best you could, cleared out a lot of the mushrooms in the tree, and that's probably what you spent much of the night doing.
Hmm.
It took maybe an hour or two. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's still remnants of the fungus. Um, it's hard to get every little piece without damaging the tree. But a majority of it for sure has been cleared out.
I think I remembered something else. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't we say that we would go throughout the town and destroy spores and stuff, or am I making that up?
I think we brought it up, but I don't think we accomplished that.
No, yeah, I know we didn't. I know we did the tree, but I don't remember.
But that's precisely what Sorkoven is suggesting that we do now.
I think a good first step would be seeing how the townspeople are doing from the bottom floor. There's not much we can really tell here, other than that they're a little out of it.
Do you think it's safe?
Well, we'll have to leave the tree to camp outside anyway.
We could try to do so stealthily, but unless you would like to gauge that, in which case we don't have to do that.
How quickly can you perform lesser restoration? Or how frequently, I should say.
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Well, I don't have any left today, but I'm honestly not too much of a magic user. I can really only do it twice a day. But Lilavati, do you have this ability?
I wager I could do it 2 more times.
Do we want to see if it works on some of the townspeople, or do we want to wait until we rest outside the city?
Well, I could, if we rest for a while, I could maybe regain some power, focus, and Lilavati and I combined could maybe attempt on 4 townspeople.
It's not sure what our options are at this point. If we can help these people, we should.
I call Sirius over. She's been out, keeping her distance. I'd say on the outskirts of the town, and I'd like to call her over if possible.
Yep, she comes to you.
I'm going to kind of, I guess I'll just ask, see if you can find us a sight unseen route away from the town here. And I let her go. And I guess I'm going to look through her eyes.
So you're looking for like a safe way to get out of town without being seen?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and make a let's have Lav make an investigation check because he's kind of guiding and trying to figure out that based on what he sees through Sirius's eyes.
Investigation, you said?
Yeah. Using Lav rather
With
than Sirius.
advantage? Advantage?
Do you have a reason for advantage?
You like me a lot?
Not that much.
Damn.
Does Seer do? Wait, you're doing it through Sirius? I thought like bird familiars had advantage on like
It's true.
perception checks with their eyes.
That's like trying to find like hidden things in the distance, sort of.
Gotcha.
This is more of like looking over the scope of the city and trying to plan out a route more intelligence based than actually being able to spot things.
He just hates me. He doesn't want to give it to me. It's fine.
I'm reaching. To be fair, I'm reaching.
I mean, so looking out over the city, you see a couple things. Outside the tree itself, there's the 8 or so guards as well as the innkeeper that you met, all just kind of standing, um, occasionally taking a few steps and turning around and just acting very mindless. As Sirius flies over the town, she doesn't see anyone else that might be a threat, although there's lots of like kind of ramshackle buildings, low roofs, porches, things of that sort that are hard to see from up above. However, she does spot standing near the entrance to the town where it kind of rejoins the forest, a Amba, the woman that you met when you first entered town.
What's she doing?
Um, just kind of standing there looking away from the town out towards the forest. Occasionally she
Okay.
kind of like steps back and forth, leans against a building, but sort of seems to be keeping watch of a sort. And there's also two guards on the actual edge of town, um, looking out towards the forest as well. But they just seem to kind of be keeping their posts. And you saw them
Gotcha.
when you came in as well. But other than
Okay.
that, the streets seem mostly empty. And so unless there's someone like hiding somewhere, you're probably won't have too much issue trying to get it to town, except for the things that I mentioned.
Gotcha. Um, I'm relaying all this information to the party as I
Mhm.
see it. Um, okay. So you said that Sirius did find a route away from all of them.
Uh, Not exactly. You'd have to, because of the
So
way the town is built, there's really kind of only one entrance in or out, and the two guards as well as Amba are in that vicinity. She's not carrying any weapons or anything like that. Although the guards have spears like all the others. Um, but they don't seem to be aware of her presence. She's
so
kind
if we
of a
tried to
street or two back.
okay, so if we tried to go out through the entrance, we would encounter her and the guards.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what you did, she might. She
Right.
like if you just tried to walk out, she would see you. But if you tried
Yeah.
something else, like there's kind of like a building on either side of that main
And
street.
there's no other, or is there like a gate, like a fence? It's fenced in.
Um,
There's walls that would keep us
no.
from going out another way.
It's so like looking at the map, the town is like built out on the lake, so you could like swim basically. Um, and then there's sort of like kind of cliffs that block most of the other route. But there's like yeah,
Are,
basically
are
through
there?
that main street or swimming around, or maybe if you had some way to like fly up or something like that, would be the most
Is
immediate options.
I'd like to circle toward the cliffs.
Hmm.
Is there a lot of like life and movement around there?
No. There's a few like large buildings seem to be kind of like warehouses out here, and docks with like boats that are tied up. I mean, there's lots of trees and bushes up on the cliffs. Um, Typical
Is
jungle
there actually a
foliage, but
temple over here?
no, that's just from the art, but that's
Gotcha.
not here.
Are the cliffs extremely steep?
They're probably about 30 feet tall or so, and at not a completely 90-degree angle, so they'd be climbable, but it would definitely be like an athletics check
Challenge.
if you just tried to climb
Gotcha.
straight up them.
Okay.
But then like further past the cliffs, you can see that there's they kind of come down to like a shoreline that is almost like a beach. Like this, the tower in the map isn't there, but the land is that same way.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Thank you.
Hmm.
promoting this to the party, and then I'd have Sirius, I guess, return to me at that point.
Mhm.
And my eyes, I guess, release the arcane energy, and just, and that's it.
If it's another way out of town you want, I could get us out several ways. If you fancy a swim or a walk.
I don't fancy a swim, just based on what we heard. I can't recall exactly what we heard, but I just remember not wanting to go in the water. The cliffs are an option. However, it could be challenging to ascend them, but there was, as I said, less activity toward them. So that could be an option. However, I'm open. I'm all ears.
Posted in the Foundry chat. That's what I can offer.
Right. Okay, this is out of character. Didn't we hear something about something in the water or something? Like they wanted us to go to the water or something? Something like that. I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember.
I wouldn't have been here for that session. I would have been the one I missed.
So just as a reminder, at one point there was a group of halflings talking to a human, and then they went over to speak with Sorkoven, and I believe one of them said that it's a great time of year for a swim. Kind of like might have repeated that once or twice. But that's the only thing anyone's really said about the lake.
Okay. Yeah, we should avoid the water.
As a last resort, perhaps, but
Well, my inclination obviously might be more towards a mountain as opposed to a water. Just, look at me.
Love, didn't you say that the cliff becomes easier to climb closer to the shoreline?
yes. However, because it is easier, I assume there may be. I could send Sirius out again, but I just fear that, we may be seen on the road. But
I'm concerned that Amba is somehow seemingly reborn.
Well, how about this as a compromise? Why don't we've been talking for quite a while? Why don't we take the necessary time for maybe a short rest? And then the Levati and I can try to help some of the guards maybe, and they can point us in the right direction.
Sounds fair to me.
Yeah, the time y'all
Maybe we
been
could.
discussing this would definitely qualify as a short rest. So put that in
Cool.
if you'd like.
What are the um spell slot regen rules?
You can regain one spell slot, and to do so, you spend a number of hit dice equal to the level.
Okay.
So no matter how many hit dice, one spell slot total.
Correct. Per
Okay.
short rest.
Gotcha. Well then, in that case, I have one restoration, not two. Well, Levati, shall we give this a shot?
Who should we try it on? Since we have a
I would
little.
say a guard. I would say a guard would probably be most helpful, only because they are likely to know safe spots or have authority or know where else to get help, that kind of thing. Or perhaps they weren't we supposed to meet a woman? Maybe both. We had more than one.
You're referring to that no. Sapralda? As the only other named person we have reference to. I don't know where we
Yes.
find them at, so we could try the innkeep too.
That is probably what I was thinking of. But there were guards downstairs by the door. Let's maybe just try them first. And Takara will like start heading down the tree.
All right. So I'll head down towards the base of the tree, um, and open up the doors, and you see the 8 or so guards, as well as Yashoda, the innkeeper, still just kind of standing there. Every now and then they take a few steps, or itch a part of their body, but otherwise don't do anything.
This might be really stupid, but this is what Takara would do. Hello.
There's no reaction.
Okay. I think we are safe. And she'll walk up to. I'm gonna say the innkeep. She'll walk up to the innkeep.
Mm-hmm.
Just put her hand on her shoulder and see if there's a reaction. Then.
You put your hand on. So he's wearing like a simple cloth shirt and kind of like some baggy leather pants, and you put your hand on his shoulder to cast a spell, and as you channel the divine magic into him, um, like you're touching like the part of the shirt that's covering your shoulder, but
Yeah.
when you touch it, like the skin beneath the shoulder feels harder than you expected, like more solid than like skin. Uh, do you continue with the spell or do something else or what?
Nope. Definitely don't continue with the spell. Hey Joe, while you're like taking a huge dump, can you like either mute yourself or put the mic in the toilet so we can fully experience it? I need you to choose one. Oh, you chose the toilet. All right.
I can take care of that. All right.
He's probably just like washing his hands or something. Yeah, no, I don't think Takara would that would she would take that as a red flag.
It feels like when you touch like a big scab, kind of. That's like mostly healed over, but not quite. But it's like the whole palm of her hand on the shirt.
She's got big hands.
Mm-hmm.
How about maybe we just try the other shoulder? What do we feel in there in this little massage?
So you touch the other shoulder, and you're paying a little bit more attention this time. And at first, you feel like normal soft skin, but then as you begin channeling the magic, it seems to harden up, as if in response to your spell.
Oh.
Still like under the shirt. So I get the shirt itself is normal, but something about the skin underneath.
I relay all this to everyone who is there.
Try it on the skin we can actually see.
Remove his shirt.
Oh, Wait a minute, Sokoven. Okay, all right. You do whatever you want, but I don't think these guards and these people know what they're doing. Okay, all right. Just take a breath. Um, is there maybe like a guard or like even in the innkeep, or is it like a long sleeve shirt or
No,
short
it's
sleeve?
it's short sleeve.
Okay, I'll try on the part that I can see and see if there's like a visual
Yeah, so
something.
you reach towards his like forearm, and the as you begin channeling the magic, you see the skin sort of start to turn like green, and sort of like these, and it kind of reminds you of like the surface of a mushroom in a sense, but like on the skin itself. And as you pull your hand back and like stop trying to cast the spell, it goes back to normal.
I don't like this. I try the same thing on guard.
The same thing happens.
Fucking shit.
Try it one more time, and while Tokara does it, I just bring a little fire right next to where her hand would go,
Hmm.
see if there's any reaction.
Um, Takara, do you go through with this plan?
Yeah.
All right, so Takara begins channeling the spell once more, and Lilavati conjures up some magical druidic flame. And as she holds it towards, like you see the skin begin to harden again, but as the flame approaches, it pulls back, and the is this the innkeeper or one of the guards?
Um, I was at a guard already, so
Okay,
unless Lilavati led me somewhere else, it would have been a guard.
so the guard kind of shifts suddenly, and his arm passes through, and like you see like the hairs on his skin kind of burn, and he pulls the arm back, and there's like a burn mark there, and he goes ah, and he looks up and he says, "What was? Wait, where? What am I? Who are you?" This
There's a
is
lot to unpack with both of those questions.
he looks around at the other guards and says, what's going on here? Explain yourself."
Um, uh, Lilavati, your face is friendlier. Do you want to maybe?
Uh,
Oh, and to clarify, this happened like before you actually went and cast the spell.
Oh, good. Okay.
something seems to have affected the town and the people in it, and we're just outsiders from Udamanyu.
What do you mean something affected the town?
There was a bunch of weird fungi infecting the Yodahala tree, and it seems to have affected the people here too.
He looks up towards the tree, and kind of takes a few steps so you can see like inside of it since the gates are kind of like still open. And he says, "This is what of the druids? Have they done anything about this? Do you know where they are? Are they okay?"
I don't believe so. Um, it seemed like Shatursa was one of the ones more infected.
God, if the druids can't help us, we'll need. This is unlike anything I've seen before here.
We did annihilate a big infection in the tree that seems to have broken some sort of hold it had on the townspeople. Before we did that, they were literally chasing us around semi-mindlessly, and it was really weird. And
Um,
then after we destroyed that, they're kind of just comatose, standing up. It seems.
God, the last thing I remember.
Before you try and remember, do you know who Amba is?
He thinks for a second. Oh, um, yeah, she's a woman who lives here. I think she, uh, sells lake bloom at the market, and her husband's one of the, fishermen. Why is she wrapped up in all this? I've met her once or twice.
It's just that whenever we talk to any of the townspeople, they would constantly recommend we go stay at her house
Hmm.
while they were still under the influence of the infection.
Huh, that's strange. Um, I mean, she's lived here for several years, been a normal part of the community. Um, but look, where you folk have done so much here. I mean, do you know of anyone else who might be able to help with this? I mean, how did you help me?
It seems like trying to affect a person who is infected with magic will cause their skin to harden and turn green. In response to this, we just presented some flame, and it seemed to burn away the infection somehow.
He kind of looks at like the burn mark on his arm, and he says, by what sort of magic did you conjure your flame?
Druidic magic?
Oh, so you're a druid. From
I am.
which which tree do you come from?
I. I'm more of an outsider. I don't really have a tree to call home.
He kind of narrows his eyes and says, you're not one of the uprooted, are you?
Question.
Hmm.
What does that mean again?
Um,
One of those freaky deaky Dutch druids that we encountered on our way.
Those fuckers? Oh,
yeah.
then, no, I'm not.
Well, I suppose I wouldn't be talking to you if it wasn't for your help, so I guess I can trust you. Actually, now that I think about it, you said the whole town has been acting weird?
I believe so. We haven't really encountered anyone acting completely normal.
Well, your best bet might be with Chipralda. Uh, he's a older dragonborn who once lived here, but kind of moved out of town when he retired. So whatever happened to the people here, he's probably safe from. Um, he lives a few miles south of here, in an old ship washed up on the shores of the lake. But he knows more about this town and this lake than anyone besides the druids. Uh, he might have some idea of what's going on here. Um, but if your fire can cure people, then well, you might be the only hope we have.
At the very least, we can start with the people in this area.
Please go ahead.
Eochora.
Takara kind of lowers herself a little bit to however tall this person is. And what did you say your name was?
Um, one sec.
Sorry if I'm making you use a
No,
name
it's
generator now.
fine.
Timothy.
Yeah.
Jimothy or Kevin?
Frank.
Chalamet?
Jimothy? Chalamet? Yeah.
I am Kahada.
Kahata with a K, with a C?
With a
I
K.
don't know if
With a
those
K.
letters exist. Okay. And forgive me, I just have a thing with names. Who did you say we should seek out again?
Supralda.
Ah, okay, I've heard of this person.
I thought their name was pronounced Supra LD. Hey.
Hmm. It's a car.
Not quite.
Are we
Can
there
I?
or no?
If you want to be.
No.
Lilavati, could I test something real quick? Could you just light this torch?
I light the torch.
Mhm.
I go up to just another random, the innkeep actually. I'll go up to the innkeep and just try the like same thing but using the torch and see if that works.
You hold up the torch towards him, and you notice that like it does in fact have to burn him in order to have any effect. But he kind of shakes his head and says, "Oh man, what a night I had." And then he looks up. He's like, "Wait a second, something feels wrong." And then Kahata walks up and kind of explains everything that you told him
Cool.
to Yashoda.
This is good. This is good. Can we all we need is torches and we can with a wave disinfect the whole town.
Yeah. So
Do we want to experiment with other healing magic, or is it only lesser restoration that draws it out?
I don't think I even used. Did I even do that on the innkeep?
no. I mean, you did
Yeah.
earlier, but like based on the reactions, it just seems like the this flame is enough.
So, out of character. Like it seems like anyone can do it. So we can just give like random. Why am I out of character? We could just give like random townspeople's like torches.
I was like, what was drawing out this stuff in the first place, though? The fire destroys it, but
Make a I guess an Arcana check, Lilati.
yay! Big oofers. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah. So after experimenting on a couple of people, what you were able to figure out is that the hardening of the skin was a defense mechanism by the infection to protect itself from the healing magic. Um, but the fire seems to kind of scare it off. Um, and like so much so that it just even a slight burn mark is enough to uh completely eliminate it from the person.
Does anyone else have healing magic that they could just prep up a bit?
I mean,
Where are we? Are we there now?
Yeah, everyone's there.
No. Sorry. Not in my wheelhouse.
I cannot
I
heal
have.
either.
I also
My
have
magic
cure
is
wounds.
more suited for defense rather than healing.
Wish it were.
Then
Why
I
do?
guess we can go two at a time for now until we
Well,
find other people who may have healing magic.
we don't even need healing magic. It seems.
No, the healing magic is the catalyst that draws out the
Oh,
infection.
no. Sorry. To clarify, you don't like you go up to a person that no magic has been used on, use the fire, and it cures them.
Oh.
Sorry.
That's what I did with the innkeep.
Yeah.
We don't need your puny healing magic, boy.
This is what I'm saying, Lilavati. Lilavati, listen to me. We can now just give these people torches, and they can go out and just like spread like crazy and just disinfect whole town. We give Cure,
light
give
the
torch.
torch.
Cure, give torch. Cure, give torch. You see? It is like pyramid scheme. I mean, what? It is like a pyramid get gold quick scheme.
So as you're kind of working through some of these people, the sun's starting to rise a little bit into the sky, and you see here and there people starting to come because you're like in the middle of the marketplace, and it seems like people are kind of a few people are starting to come here from various parts of town, and they're carrying like wares to set up to sell and stuff. Um, and a few people kind of look at you curiously, and like the few remaining guards who are kind of like standing in a haze, and one a kid runs up, and he says, "Hey, what you doing?"
I burn him. I don't want to burn him. I want to heal him.
Do you have
Doesn't
something
this?
you're doing, or
I
Has he
be
been
right back.
healed?
I need to grab my food.
We've been giving people torches.
okay? So Yashoda approaches the child with the torch, and he says, hold still for a minute, young one. This'll only hurt for a second," and kind of like burns his little finger, and the kid goes, "Ow, hey," and looks at it and says, why are you burning people?" And Yashoda kind of explains that like, "Oh, there's been a sickness going around, but this is the cure, and you'll feel better now." He's like, well, I don't feel any different. But I mean, if people are sick, they should probably go see Amba because she can really take care of them." And Yashoda's like, "But Amba's just a merchant. Why would she?" And he says, "Oh, Amba is really like the nicest person in town, and um, she makes great food, and she's happy to have anyone to come help her." And he's like, "Amba's not
Burn him
even your
again.
mother, is she?" And he just says, "Come on, I'll show you." And Yashoda kind of looks up to you guys like,
Burn
"What?"
him again.
All right, you hold a torch towards him and burn him again. He goes,
I
"Ha!"
cast friends first, and then I burn him.
Okay. He says, "Oh, look, I'm not sick. I'm okay.
I burn him
I'm
again.
just."
I'm just kidding. I'm not actually burning him. This is worrisome.
Maybe we can only cure them at night.
That why?
I don't know. It's a weird fungus logic.
It is weird fungus. It's true.
I thought
Um,
this was one of the kids who like came into the town with like a merchant and stuff. No.
oh, you're talking about that like walked into the marketplace as the sun
Mm-hmm.
began to rise? Yeah, no, these are people coming from other parts of the town to the marketplace to like set up their shops to begin like selling stuff for the day and things like that. Um,
Oh.
so Yashoda kind of turns to you and says, "Look, when these guards that I watched you cure, they were all kind of just zombie-like almost when we cured them. But this kid and he points to the other people like going about their daily business at the marketplace. They they're acting like normal as far as I can tell."
Hey kid, you're Amba wasn't here at the at Kinatra already?
Oh yeah,
She just got here?
no, she's been here taking care of people, being the best person in town.
Okay. How'd you hear about her?
Um, oh, I was playing with a few other kids and I tripped and scraped my knee and then she made me feel better. All I had to do was go for a little swim in the lake, and after that, um, she told me where to go, and when I came back, I felt good as new. And he kind of looks over at like your various injuries, assuming not all of you are at full health, and says, you should probably go swim for a lake too, in the lake too, if you want to feel better.
Where in the lake did she direct you to go?
Do you want to come see? I'll show you. And he kind of gestures towards, you can see like further down the street, it's like the kind of dock overlooking the lake.
I'll go.
All right, come on. And he starts heading that way.
I'm following, maybe 30 feet back, and I've got my hand on my wand.
Mhm.
Damn, Joe really wants to kill this child.
No.
I
Uh,
love my gun.
I empty the magazine.
I'm looking around. I'm looking around for suspicious activity as we walk.
Have we
Other children to kill.
have we cured the people who are zombies? Like,
Yeah,
uh,
are the guards still comatose? Like,
so I've assumed by this point that you've cured the 8 guards as well as Yashoda, and they're like back to their senses and like talking to each other, and they've all like kind of explained like, yeah, we have no memory over the past like week or so. Um, I guess as you're getting rid of, you notice there's a tiefling woman at one of the stalls that's was like there through the whole night. She's also kind of comatose. But everyone else who's come to the market since like the morning is acting like normal people. And a few of them kind of like notice this woman, say, "Hey, are you okay?" and kind of wave at them, wave at her. But then they just kind of shrug and go back to their business.
this is the
Burn.
woman we saw like staying standalone
Yes.
and that Joe tried to speak with.
Yes.
Okay, I will try and help her.
Yeah.
One
So
more time.
you use the fire, and she kind of comes back to her senses, and Yashoda kind of explains what's going on to her. Yeah, she's like, "Oh yeah, man, I don't remember coming to this spot. I mean, this is my stall, but my memory seems kind of fuzzy." So the kid is leading all towards the docks, and it's maybe like 50 feet away. And you come to where you're kind of overlooking the lake. The water's kind of like green and murky, and there's very kind of faint like waves that come up, but very like small, not like ocean waves or anything like that. And he points out towards kind of the center of the lake, and it's fairly large, like you can barely see the opposite side of the lake on the horizon. And he says, "You go out that way, and if you swim down a bit, there's a big uh stone temple on the bottom of the lake. And if you go there, uh you'll feel good as new."
Thank you, child. What was your name?
Uh I'm Galio. So you're gonna go for a swim?
Um, I need to use the privy first.
Although
Get the right,
if you want to
not
be
just
able to
wanted
swim all the way
to.
down to the bottom of the lake, well, you're gonna need some help with that. But Amba can get you some bitter hogweed, and that'll make sure you don't have to worry about coming up for air.
Great.
Was that a
Very kind of
Harry
you.
Potter reference, perhaps? Sorry,
Um,
continue.
One of the guards goes up to Galio and says, "Wait, what do you know about bitter hogweed?" And he says, "Oh, Amba gave me some of that so I could breathe underwater. It was real fancy." And he seems very confused and like looks concerned at the 5 of you and says, um, "Bitter hogweed is a plant that our fishers use to collect various things from the bottom of the lake, and but the fishing guild or the harvesters guild typically keeps its uses a secret, and so I'm very concerned that this child here even knows what it is."
The Harvest Guild, you say?
Yeah, they're on the other side of town. He kind of points in one direction.
All right. Thank you, Galileo. You have a marvelous day. And I flip him a copper.
Hmm. He says, "Thanks. But you know who could really use this? You should." He actually hands it back to you and says, "You should bring this to Amba. You know, she deserves a little payment for all the good work that she does." And then he runs off.
Great. And I drop the copper on the ground.
I shoot the.
In the back as he's running away. Fireball.
Finger of death.
Oh,
Yasota says, yeah, uh, I'm gonna go check on my inn, see how things are there. If we find any more kind of comatose people, we'll be sure to give them a burn mark. Um, but for the rest of these people, I don't know what's going on. Um, sounds like Ampa probably knows, but I don't know what's up with her either. If you need some beds to rest, I'm assuming my inn is safe. Um,
There was a foul stench coming from your ring.
yeah, I definitely need to go check that out then.
Yes.
You,
perhaps maybe we should go with you
Yeah,
to
we
do
should.
that. And then
uh,
after, maybe we could either rest or maybe see about this Amba person.
We should go fumigate the inn.
all right. Um, so you'll make your way back toward the bright bottle, and you head inside, and there's probably 5 or 6 people sitting across various tables, and all of them are um, just like not moving. Occasionally they like scratch, but otherwise they just sit there staring like blankly at the wall. Um, and he says, "Oh, I'll get a candle from the kitchen." And he heads back. And then
I go with him.
okay, you go with him. Um, he opens a shelf, pulls out a candle, and then there's sort of like a oven that he lights with a, or he pulls out like a tinder box from next to it, and then lights the little candle. He heads back out to the main room and holds up next to one of the people. Um, and their skin is burned slightly, but they don't react to the candle. And he's like,
Ah,
"Wait, that's weird. What what did you do again to get it to cure people? You just lit a torch, right?
yes.
Do you have any other ideas? I mean, these people are comatose like the guards are, not like the kid. So I assume this would work, but
I'm gonna go look around the inn and see if there's any fungus.
um, is there any specific spot you're looking? Um, or you would go
Um,
to first, or
check the kitchen first,
mhm.
then try to see the upper rooms, and then maybe if there's like an attic or something.
Make a investigation check. And your soda will help you out, so you can get advantage. Cool.
What does investigation get the bonus?
I don't remember.
I will look.
Thanks.
It does. So 13.
Um, so you don't see any mushrooms or fungus in the kitchen. Um, you do, however, find that smell again from the room that you had been given, and it does kind of remind you of the smell from inside the tree. Um, So you suspect that there's something somewhere in in the room.
I go to check under the beds.
Um, so underneath the beds, you see a small little wooden bowl. You pull it out and you see several pieces of bright blue mushrooms in them.
I'll stand back from a distance and then set it on fire.
Yeah, with a snap of your fingers, the mushrooms alight and are incinerated.
I'll go through the other rooms as well, since I have a feeling that's where most of them will be, is under the beds.
Yeah. So with that knowledge, it's easy enough to tell that it seemed to be in the rooms that you had been given are the only ones that you find the mushrooms in.
I'll
And you
keep
showed
double
it.
checking while people are doing things downstairs,
Okay.
just to make sure there's no no other stuff anywhere.
What are y'all doing downstairs?
Perhaps Lilavati's magic is the only way to cure these people. They go from. Perhaps her magic has gone from torch to torch, and that way. Curious. Well,
I'll
hope she
try with
doesn't find anything.
I'll try with the torch that Levati did earlier, assuming I still have it.
Um, you try using the lit torch on one of the people at the inn, and it seems to work. The person kind of shakes their head and is like, "Hey, what's going on?" And one of the guards that kind of explains. Um, and Kahada, he says, "Yeah, something about what your friend's magical fire must have something to do with it." Um, I don't know where her power comes from, but that seems to be what we need right now. Can any of you do anything like that?
She's special. No.
My power does not manifest in fire, fortunately, that I know of. He says, thinking that he might have sacred flame in I guess Takara technically has. She technically has like, what's it called? The smite one, but with fire.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, I mean,
it also involved slashing someone with a sword.
I would say like you could use that, like you would still have to spend the spell slot, but you could like ignite your sword and press it against somebody to burn them without actually like cutting them, right?
That sounds like branding someone else spells. No, I don't. I can't do anything.
Understandable.
Uh,
I just I no. It's Lilavati only. She can.
yeah. So Lilavati, searching around the place some more, you don't find any more mushrooms, and after several minutes, the smell has pretty much all gone away.
Okay. I feel better once the smell has dissipated,
Hmm.
and I will rejoin people downstairs.
Yeah. You and your soda head back down.
It seems that there were some mushrooms laid out underneath all of our beds in the rooms we were to sleep in.
Um,
That is creepy.
yeah, your soda says, now that I've had some time to clear my head, I do recall um, a couple of the druids coming to my inn. Um, And they seem to be acting strange, but my memory is still kind of hazy about that. But that's one of the last things I remember before waking up with all of you. So maybe they hope to use this place as some kind of spreading point after the druids had already been infected, but I don't know. Question is, what do we do now?
So, question: these druids were these the same druids as the druids of the town, or were they like druids that came in,
Druids that what?
or were they just druids that?
Or what was the first part you said?
Are these the same druids as like druids who lived in the town that were acting
Yeah, yeah.
strangely? Or are they?
He'll
Are they
clarify. Like the
different?
Kanatra was kind of governed by the druids of the Circle of the Waves. They specialize in aquatic magic, and lived in the Yadahala tree. Um,
So
uh,
these were different druids that came in.
no, they were they Shatursa was the leader of the circle here.
And
And
I just so those are the druids that came in and were acting. Where's the same one?
they came from the tree to my inn,
Gotcha.
which they do occasionally, but not often.
I gotta close.
By the way, I informed little about when she gets back of the torch thing.
Mhm.
So you are special after all?
It could just be magical flame, not necessarily anything with me.
Yes, but you are the only one. You.
Don't sell yourself short, Lilavati.
Well, the way I see it, we have a choice. We can give these kind men and some others torches lit by your flame, and have them go about to do while we take a rest, or while we
You cutting out big
this.
time, bud. What did you actually?
Or
As we take a rest was the last thing I could
Oh.
understand.
Or we go find this woman that everyone wants us to find. So
confront her.
Ohada said that her husband was a fisherman, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
A fisherman who would have access to the guild's secrets.
Yeah, his name was Jihuan. He came here from time to time.
Where is he now?
I mean, I haven't seen him. I mean, I've been in whatever state for the past week or two, and then before that, I hadn't seen him for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Well, in
Is
my
that
inn at least, but I've seen him. What was that?
no? Continue.
Okay. But I'd seen him like in the street from time to time. Um, but no, since I've woken up today, I haven't seen him. Although typically he would be at his home or at the guild or fishing in the lake.
Do you know where that is? His home.
We know where it is. We've been given explicit directions to it at least 3 times.
That's correct.
My thoughts are that everything's pointing to something in the lake is the source of all of this. We have the druids of the Circle of Water who have been heavily infected by it. We have the Fishers Guild who are known to use things to dredge things up from the bottom of the lake, and we have the temple that the boy referred to us.
I was about to say the same thing. We should get some of that hogweed and prepare ourselves to make a trip to the depths.
We don't need hogweed. Can already.
Well, I was. You can provide water breathing for all of us?
Yes,
For how long?
24 hours.
Not that I don't trust your ability, but maybe we should get some hogweed anyway in case the worst happens.
Fair enough.
Also, could not to exploit the situation, but that could come in handy.
In case we ever get separated, also.
We may want to at least investigate Amba's house and try and remove as
I,
much
bel
of the issue here before moving on.
I agree. I think we should start. I think we should seriously consider um, removing the infection from as many people as possible, working our way from the outwards in towards the front entrance where Amba is located. We should confront Amba. Um, maybe we should check her home first before we confront her herself to see if there's anything we can learn about her. And then once we do that, we should consider going into the lake. That's my personal opinion, but as always,
And also go
I
talk,
trust you.
try and find Sapralda. You may have more information that will help.
Um, Kohada says, yeah, Sapralda used to be the head of the Harvesters Guild, and it was maybe a year or two ago that he retired. So if he would definitely know more about the guild and things in the lake than any of us here. Um, but listen, we if you provide us a couple of torches with your magical fire, we can go through the town and try to find any other comatose people. Maybe we might need to like check in some homes if they are just stuck wandering in there. But we can help out as many people as we can. But it seems like you folk are much better equipped than us to figure out what's going on with Amba and the people who seem to follow her. Um, and Yashoda says, "Yeah, I don't see myself going in that lake until I know it's safe."
I think that is the best plan. We should delegate.
I'd advise to stay away from her for the time being. She could be dangerous.
Either way, I think we should still take a rest sometime soon. We've been at it for a while now.
I think perhaps now.
Why don't we give them some torches first? Take a rest.
I'll start like trying to find extra torches that they have access to and start lighting them up. Because I don't have I don't have any spare because I don't need them.
Yeah, I mean he's got.
I have torches if you need
I've got
any.
some as well.
Any.
I mean, this is a town, right? I'm sure every household.
Yeah, I mean, and he's got like plenty of like pieces of wood to use for like the oven fire and stuff like that. So he can just take some of those, light them up, like wrap a rag around the handle, and they have enough to equip every guard. Um, Although Kahota says, look, I'll stay here, just keep an eye on things while the rest of you are resting. Um, and or Kahota and Yashoda will stay in the end while the other 7 guards go out to check through the town. Um, is there anything else you want us to keep an eye on while we're looking around town?
you notice anything suspicious or more out of sorts than what you're prepared for, please return here and notify us at once.
Will do.
Or tell that to the guards.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's been a day.
All right. We'll get some rest. You've earned it. We'll take care of this for the time being, at least. Yashoda leads you to different rooms this time, just to be extra safe. It's got sheets and pillows all prepared for all of you, and says, "Look, if there's any food, drink you need, I'll take care of it."
Thank you.
All right. So unless anyone wants to do anything else, you can go ahead and put in a long rest. And with that, we're going to take a short little break. So feel free to use the bathroom, grab a snack, whatever. We will be back momentarily.
Yeah.
Um, so assume everyone's put in that they got a long rest. Uh, as you kind of wake from your slumber, you're it's probably like mid-afternoon at this point. You kind of congregate and head downstairs to the lower area of the bright bottle, and you see Yashoda, Kohada, the other guards, and they're talking to a man. Um, he's wearing these kind of long, colorful robes, um, like open in the front, but with a shirt and pants and like a cloth belt underneath. Um, and as you approach, he looks up and says, "Hey, so can you tell me more about what's going on with my mom?" Um, my name's Sanajit, and see, I travel town to town, but I'm from here, and Amba's my mother. I ran into a few of these guards on my way in town, and they told me that I shouldn't go see her, but it's been a couple weeks, and they're saying something about like mushrooms and what's going on here?
You arrived here a couple of weeks ago, you say?
I last left here a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
Um, pick up some supplies from Utamanu and then he thinks, wait a second. Oh, you were those folks at the festival in Utamanu. Oh, yeah, I remember you.
one and the same, perhaps?
Look, if my mom's in some kind of danger though, I want to help her out. Oh, there's also a where is it? Um, large lizard folk standing behind him with her arms crossed, just looking over at all of you. And her eyes kind of narrow as you approach, but she doesn't do anything. And she's carrying a large greatsword on her back and wearing kind of like uh scale mail.
Dear boy, your mother may be the danger here. Now, we don't want to jump to conclusions, of course, but from what we've been hearing, we do intend to see her eventually. But
Okay, well, how soon is eventually? Because, like I said, if she's in danger, I want to try to help her.
like I said, she may be the danger.
Or she wouldn't. Look, if she's the source of whatever's going on here, it's not of her own doing. I can tell you that.
Whose doing would it be?
Hell's if I know.
You may be right, but because this is a personal subject to you, maybe best if you stay here for a while until we can figure out what's going on. But rest assured, we will do our best to make sure your mother truly her is safe, not whatever is causing all this.
He kind of suddenly like stands up, and you see the lizard folk put a hand on her sword, and he says, "Look, I don't know what like everybody back in Uzumanu seemed to think your law was the bee's knees, but there's strange stuff going on here, and I am going to see my mother before anyone else does. We can go together, that's fine, but I'm not leaving you alone with her."
Hold on just a minute. I'm sorry, allies, if we didn't wish to reveal all of this information just yet, but I feel like we need to be forthcoming. We've already dealt with and been with your mother without you, so to speak.
What do you
And,
mean?
well, we encountered her last night and we battled with her. And in fact, everybody's making a face at me. Am I not talking to who I think I'm talking to?
I mean, that's not the truth. Are you intending to like tell a lie or?
Amba's not the druid that we killed. Is that who you think?
Okay, so we didn't encounter her at all last
We
night?
did.
You saw Amba when you first entered town, and she's like, "Come stay with me. I'll provide free room and board." And then you just left, and that's the last time
Okay.
you saw Amba.
And everyone's been like, go see Amba,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay. In that case, I don't say that.
Mhm.
Instead, I say, well, have we sized this gentleman up? Does he seem capable?
Make an insight check. And to clarify, the half orc that you fought at the top of the tree, her name was Shatursa, and she was the head of the druids here. Um,
I remember that much. She actually had a few different names.
yeah.
But for
Well,
whatever
Shatursa.
reason, I thought we battled Amba, or we were around her when guards attacked us, or am I completely making that up?
No.
Seen
Yeah,
her
you're,
since we
you're
entered town.
well,
Okay.
Sirius saw her near the entrance of town when he was scouting, or she was scouting around.
Mm.
But anyway, with that roll, Taylor, if you want to jump into the Whisper channel with me. Hello.
Hello.
Hey. Yeah, so looking at what this guy's wearing, the various you can see like stains on his travel boots. He's got pouches full of different materials. His story of being like a traveling merchant definitely seems to fit. And the lizard folk behind him, kind of gauging the way they react to each other, you can tell that she's sort of a bodyguard for him. Um, he himself doesn't seem to have any. He's not. Oh, you notice like a dagger strapped to his leg, but he's not carrying any weaponry. Doesn't have any armor or nothing that stands out as like an implement for casting spells. He definitely seems to be a person who knows how to, you know, is good with words, good at convincing people to buy or sell things to him, um, and probably has some sort of mercantile power. But in terms of combat capabilities, you don't see him as a threat in that way.
Okay.
Um,
And but I do feel like the bodyguard is a little bit more equipped to
yeah,
handle
she,
situations like that.
correct. She's probably around the same skill level as the other members in your party, just judging by the weight of that great sword she carries, the way she stands, and her stance. Uh, you would be against all five of you, especially if the guards got involved. She'd probably be just completely outnumbered, but it would not be a simple, straightforward fight with her. And you would kind of estimate that like he would let her like basically flee while she took charge of that if that sort of situation arose.
Understood.
Cool. All right, we'll head back. Yeah. So, what do you do? Or I guess you were. What was it that you said to him before?
What did I want?
Sorry, I forgot where the conversation left off.
He was trying to size him up.
Right.
Yeah,
But
but
what?
instead of saying that we had encountered Amba before, instead I say,
Mhm.
now that I've sized him up, I say, listen, I don't know what your mother is capable of, but frankly, if she is the cause of this or has anything to do with this, I think the two of you are outclassed.
What is that supposed to
Uh,
mean?
it means you should stay here if you want to live.
Roll a persuasion. Well, intimidation. Sorry. He kind of eyes each of you and says, I know a lot about people who travel these parts, things that people can be capable of, things that they can't. I can tell that you five are no simple travelers, but have some skill to your name. I tell you, if anything happens to my mother, then I will call all of my favors in against you.
You have my word.
But if you save her, then I will be forever in your debt. And at this, he sits back down at the table. The lizard folk, she takes her hand off her sword and puts it by her side. And he says, please, by the grace of Burris help us.
You have my word that neither I nor my allies will harm your mother. We will do everything in our power to help her in any way we can. And also, I did not mean to cross you, but the situation is dire here. We can't risk anyone else getting hurt.
I can respect that.
Remind me of your name.
Sinajit. I can drop it in the chat. And he says, he gestures towards the lizard folk woman. He says, this is Ziania. Sorry.
Ziania?
Yeah. And she just nods but doesn't say anything.
Do I get the impression that Ziania maybe doesn't speak common, or is she just the silent, brooding warrior type?
She seems to be following along with the conversation that you all have been having. Like um, like when he, introduces her, she kind of like nods, and hearing your threats, she plays her. So it seems like she understands common, just for whatever reason hasn't chosen to say anything.
Very well. I don't comment on that.
Yashoda
Would
comes back.
Takara,
Sorry, go ahead.
would Takara know the sounded like a deity that he talked about, Bursa? I forgot who that was.
That was the god that y'all met at the festival, or who
Ah,
descended and killed the snake god.
gotcha.
We got confirmation that he killed Zether?
Yeah, I mean you would have heard that but yeah, they
Okay.
well, killed in the sense of, and probably this would have been explained if you had asked. When a god descends into an avatar form, the avatar was killed, so the god returns to their plane. So like, Zether is not forever gone, but it takes some amount of energy to manifest an avatar like that, and he's definitely wounded by that defeat. So the physical form of him was killed.
Gotcha. Would the same thing happen to Burisil? Was that just a physical manifestation
Right.
of
So if
Burisil?
that avatar of Burisil had been killed, Burisil would have been sent back to his domain, the elemental plane of water, um, for some period of time while his power recovered.
Okay, I have some lore questions, but I can do that on my own time.
Mm-hmm. Yashoda comes and he's got like two foaming mugs of bright beer in each hand, and he says, "Oh, glad to see that the tensions died down a little bit, but I'm sure these won't go to waste," and sets them on the table. So what are y'all doing?
He set them before us?
Um,
For them.
two of them closer to where you are. I mean, everyone's kind of like there's sort of maybe a large table in the middle that everyone's kind of sitting around, um, except those who might be standing. But there's one within reach of you for sure.
I send my mage hand to kind of push it over to, I don't know how to say his name, Senajit,
Sinajit, yeah.
Senajit, and Zianya. Send them both their way. So I need something to keep you preoccupied.
He grabs it and says, appreciate it. Starts swigging. Zianya takes a tentative step forward and kind of narrows her eyes at you, but then grabs it and just takes a small sip while kind of like holding it, but doesn't say anything.
Let's be off.
All right, so you gather your things and begin heading. Oh, and Yashoda will mention, yeah, we probably cured another dozen or so people while you were resting before we ran into Sinajit, but still plenty of people who are mentioning Amba and all that, so something else is going on there. But you head through the town and make your way towards Amba's place. And seems. Mhm,
Sorry, Chris. I just wanted to mention before we got too deep,
sure.
just a quick point of order that Takara would have prayed to Havoc in the morning, just for the knowing that the leadership of the town was basically we just murdered the like husk of their leadership, and that god of leader, whatever. Anyway, that's all.
Yeah, cool. So you reach kind of a smaller home. It's kind of on the edge of town, one of the ones further out towards the lake. Um, but there's these sort of like decorations of different like flowers and even like seaweed and kelp and various plants. And you've seen this like here and there around town, just as like using aquatic plant life as like pieces of decoration. But on this house, it's like all over. Um, the there's a couple windows on either side of the door. It's just a one-story building. Um, you see a boat tied up behind it, like in the kind of canal that leads out to the lake. What do you do? And it's just the five of you there. There's kind of a few streets within sight, but you don't see any like people walking around at this moment in time.
I'm knocking.
So Lav knocks on the door, and it opens up, and you see Amba there.
My hand is on my wand as I knock.
All right, give me
And my gun was on my hip.
Oh.
I should have birthed.
Yeah, so you see this a human woman, short brown hair, a simple um cloth dress, and she says, "Oh, welcome. I was wondering when you'd come by. Please, come on in." And
Why
she
did
kind of
we
steps
come
back.
here? Why did we choose to come here? I thought we were going to see the. We're here now. I walk in.
Um, you see that there's a table in the kind of this main room with like a small kind of kitchen on the side. Um, there are six chairs around the table, and there's six like kind of place sets, piping cups of tea at each one, and what seems to be some sort of like kind of seaweed salad at each. And she says, "Please sit down."
I'm already sitting.
Mhm. Does anyone not sit down?
I kind of want to take this place in for a second before I sit down.
Sure, make a perception check. Um, yeah, I mean, it seems like a fairly simple dwelling. But it looks like like an extra effort has been put in to make it look very presentable and nice. The and you do kind of pick up that some of those additions seem to be somewhat recent. Things like extra kind of plants, um, tapestries on the wall, carpeting, all of it looks a little bit nicer than what the exterior or like the general construction of the home would suggest at first.
Gotcha. I take a seat.
Mhm. So she sits down at the sixth spot, begins sipping her tea, and says, "It's always nice to see new faces in town. So what brings you here? I hope your first night was comfortable."
Not at all.
Really? Why is that?
Do I get the sense that she is bullshitting us?
Roll insight.
While this is going on, do I notice any sort of like hints at any sort of like fungus that might be around?
Make a perception check. Um, Joe, I texted you an answer. Um,
Got it. Thanks.
and Liam, I texted you your response.
Uh,
Uh, mhm.
as someone trained in the
Alright.
food arts, can I like just looking at the food she has placed in front of us? Is there anything off with it?
Um, make a. So I would say this would be a wisdom check with your proficiency bonus because you're proficient in cooked utensils.
Okay.
So if you have a wisdom skill you're proficient in, just roll that.
Okay. Let's do a perception.
Okay, we're gonna go to the other channel for a second. Hey, so um, the dish seems to be. I mean, you've probably seen like a seaweed salad at like sushi restaurants. It's basically that. So like seaweed that's been prepared with different seasonings and stuff like that. You also notice that in the kitchen there's a pot of some kind of soup. Um, and so uh, you've actually heard of this dish before because I mean you've lived in this area, and it's kind of a specialty of Kinatra. It's called the lake bloom salad. Um, and inspecting it, um, you don't pick up anything unusual about it. It seems actually very well prepared, and you've maybe had their lake bloom salad once or twice before, but this you expect that if you were to try this, this would be the best that you've had.
Okay.
But you have no reason to be suspicious of the
Anything,
food itself.
anything but the drink?
Um, seems to be like an herbal tea. You don't pick up anything on that either. Um, you do catch kind of a faint bitter smell coming from one of the other rooms, and based on your culinary expertise, that kind of makes you think that might be the bitter hogweed that was mentioned. But that's not coming from any of the food or drinks here. Uh, any questions or anything about that?
I don't. This probably isn't included. Just any. And do I get the any fungal senses? Anything?
No, you don't pick up any of that.
Okay. And
Okay.
Oh, he was really nice as an actual human being and not a fictional anime villain slash
Hmm.
not villain. It was awesome. He took like, I paid for one photo and he took like 15 photos.
Wow.
And I had a nice little conversation with him. Couldn't have too long of a conversation because the crowd around him was literally ginormous.
Christopher
But,
Sabat.
yeah. He had the
sounds like
biggest crowd of anybody there, way bigger than your boy Shatner, believe it or not,
sounds like
Wow.
a prince.
of all Saiyans.
Alrighty.
William
Also-
Shatner.
Yeah, William Shatner, I thought he was going to get most of the love, but he was lacking.
All right, weebs. Let's get back to D&D. All right, manly stuff.
Yeah, so she had asked why your night at the inn was not good.
It wasn't our night at the inn. That was perfectly fine. The fungus under our bed.
She kind of seems shocked and says, "Oh, that's strange."
It was also the fungus on the tree. The fungus infecting most of the town. Let's see what else. The creepy townsfolk, everyone telling us to come see you, actually. What else? Am I
Oh,
missing anything?
Well, I had a bad night because I wanted to take a swim, but things just kept popping up, and I never actually got a chance to.
she says,
I look at him.
I pull out my gun.
one sec. What's up? Okay.
Well, anyway, I started blasting.
Uh-huh.
Start
Okay. How you
blasting.
feeling? Okay. You just said you might
I
be
offer you an egg
upset
in this
tonight
trying
since.
time.
Okay. Just want to make sure you're okay.
I offer you a mushroom and
All right. She says, uh, oh, mushroom infection and people acting strange. That's terrible to hear. I mean, I haven't come across any of that myself, but hopefully the druids or someone else can take care of it. But look, if you um um she says look, I'm really sorry. I do my best to make Kanatra a place that welcomes whoever might come here, and I might have to talk to a few people if there's been some issues with that, and see what I can do to help out with these mushrooms or whatever. Um, so why'd you come to town if there's all these concerning things going on about?
Well, we didn't know that we'd find these concerning things until we got here. But also, I came here to swim.
Oh, yeah, I mean, many have heard of the restorative powers of our Lake of Ablution here, and it always gives a pleasant feeling when swimming in it. So, um, if you really wanted to enjoy a swim, in my back room over there, I have a plant known as bitter hogweed. And ignore the name; it's just something that the Harvesters Guild kind of uses to dissuade people from using it. But it'll give you the ability to breathe underwater for quite some time. You can enjoy the water. See if you find anything interesting under the lake. And she gestures towards the plants, kind of decorating her house. And it's like I found plenty of things under there. Um, and they say there's even a ruined temple deep at the bottom that treasure can be found at. If you're the type of sort that would go after that.
Did you find any treasure there?
Oh, I haven't been there myself.
Who told you about this temple?
My um my husband, Juon, um, he's a diver. He harvests plants from the lake bed um, with the Harvesters Guild, and he's seen it himself.
Where is he now?
Um, he's working, um, diving under the lake, as I said, with
Do you
the
know
guild.
when? Do you know when he'll be back?
Usually by evening.
Okay. Is there, dangerous creatures in the lake? I mean, do we have anything to be worried about as we're diving?
Um, Let me check one thing. Well, I would recommend staying away from where the living brook enters uh the lake, but that's a couple 1,000 feet or so to the north. So as long as you stay away from that area, you should be all right.
And if I may ask, what is over there that is so dangerous?
Um, I mean, I've just kind of been told ever since I was a little girl to stay away from that area. I assume there's some kind of fish creatures or that they say, or I don't know. The stories vary, but we just stay away out of safety. But the
Surely there are no, surely there are no, harmful plants over there or anything like that, right?
no, we use lots of different plants from the lake and lots of different things, and that's how our village has been uh, making its way in the world for generations.
I want to cast message
Okay.
to Lilavati.
hmm
To be able to prepare your flame. That's it.
She says, oh, I
You
should
can
ask,
reply to this message.
is, sorry, go ahead. Do you reply or do anything, Olavati? Are you? Oh, okay.
I don't reply. Just I get that Lav has got picked up on something that I haven't regarding Gamba, but I just get ready. I don't start casting anything, but I know that there may be a need for fire soon. So
I should also ask, has anyone eaten the salad that's in front of you?
Nah,
Hells no.
pretend like I am.
Well, in that case, she'll say, oh, if I have this salad, but if that's not to your fancy, I'm also preparing some soup. Here, let me go get that. And she stands up and heads towards the kitchen.
Oh, but a moment, please.
Oh, yes?
Please. This is more than adequate. We just ate breakfast. Unfortunately.
Oh,
Just breakfast. We woke up rather late.
that's fine. I would any of the rest of you like some soup?
I do have a question for you.
Yes.
I'd like to chew on the answer. You said you retrieved plants. Anything of note worth showing? Showing off? I'm curious about them.
Um, her face kind of lights up, and she goes towards a potted plant with three large leaves that kind of have small little like spikes at the ends of the leaves, and she gestures towards it and kind of begins like petting the leaves and says, "This here is a imperial shadbrush, quite the beauty." And then she goes over to where there's these three pink flowers on a vine that's like hanging over kind of an archway into another room, and she points up to these and says, "They call this tube poppy. Um, really brightens up the room." And probably goes for another 5-10 minutes talking about all the different plants in her room. She seems ecstatic about them. And like every plant she kind of holds gently and even like kind of caresses it a little bit. She like drinks in their smell and just seems completely enamored by these plants.
Is it a
Uh,
little creepy?
you might say that.
Excessive.
Any particular one that stands out
Um,
in her description of it, or overly fond of
I would
anything? Or...
say she treats every plant as if it were like a child, I
Gotcha.
guess. None more so than any others particularly. Um, and there's probably like a dozen different plants that she talks about. Um, but then she goes
What
in.
did
Sorry, go ahead.
what did you say your husband was?
Oh, he's probably out in the lake, collecting more plants. I mean, I'm not sure how much time you've spent in Sharoner, but our diet is mostly plant as well as a lot of the things we craft, and so it's a good trade for the town. Well, if you're not hungry, that's fine. And she looks at you, Sorkovan, and says, "I do have that hogweed if you're interested in going for a swim, like you mentioned. Would you like me to fetch some for you, or and then she gestures to the group, or any of you?
I would definitely like some.
Okay.
In fact, are you selling them or?
Uh, oh no, we have plenty. No need to worry about that." And she heads off into another room.
Takara doesn't say anything while she's gone, but she like looks around at her allies and just makes the face of like, this bitch is crazy.
Do you think perhaps she's possessed by something as well? I don't know if your flames can cure her, but it may be worth trying.
Could be two entirely different issues here.
It could be.
If she is, it's odd that she's playing dumb. Wouldn't you think that she'd be aware of everything that's happening? She
Why
has
did
more lucidity than the other people who are infected.
why the townspeople send us here?
If I had to take a guess, it was probably that salad and soup.
That end,
That
from
and
the
this.
from the best I can tell, it's normal. There's nothing wrong with it.
She comes back with um several like leather pouches. Um, and you all kind of pick up this kind of like bitter smell coming off of them. Um, and she kind of sets them down on the table and says, "This should be plenty enough for each of you." Um,
What is this salad that you've prepared for us?
oh,
It's
the
quite
the
remarkable.
the lake bloom salad. Oh, it's a little bit of a specialty here in Kanatra. Um, maybe
Delicious. Thank you.
have you eaten any?
I've been pretending to eat it.
Okay, make a
It's
deception
something
check.
it's something I've definitely had
Or
to
actually,
do.
this would be sleight of hand.
Something I definitely had to do before. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, she says, it's nice to have out of towners enjoying our food so much. Makes us feel a little bit special here. And I'm sure you have plenty of great food where you're from, but it's good to try new things, go to new places.
We have some of the best chefs around. You should make your way there one day.
Where is that? Where are you from?
I am from Eudaimonium.
Um, oh,
Here, actually, at Eudaimonium.
interesting. Um, and this is your first time in Kanatra?
From what memory serves, yes.
Yeah. Well, we get merchants and other travelers going between Eudaimonium and Zalakabo from time to time, but always happy to provide a meal for those who appreciate it.
By the way, Chris,
Hmm.
I meant to mention this, but while she was gone, Takara would have cast Detect Good or Evil. Good and Evil.
Okay. Can you read me that spell
Yeah,
or put it in Foundry?
let me read it for you real quick. Um, 30 feet, 10 minutes. Know if there is an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead, as well as where the creature is located, or if there is a place or object within 30 feet that has been magically consecrated or desecrated.
So you kind of closed your eyes for a minute and opened your mind to the divine powers that may or may not be at work in the space around you, and you do not sense any creatures of those types.
Shit. Okay.
Or items.
No.
Well, I didn't use detect magic, so it was only if something was consecrated or desecrated would I have detected an item.
Right. You do not
So there could
detect
be,
one of those.
yeah. So not necessarily no magical items around, but
Totally unfamiliar with what the mechanics of consecrated or desecrated items are.
As a DM, I would rule that as anything that's been imbued with divine or fiendish magic in any way. So you're confident that there's no magic at work here that has its origins in gods or devils or demons or anything like that.
Would I notice her doing this?
I
it
mean,
is
that's not,
verbal.
yeah. So you hear Takara chanting some words.
Okay. Takara, what are you doing?
I finish my incantation. Pause a second. Just making sure. That's not my accent. Just making sure something. Not to worry.
Alright.
This was like while she was gone. I just
Yeah.
didn't get a chance to
Mhm.
say this.
Yeah, that's fine.
Out of character,
Mhm.
I can cast detect magic as a ritual.
Ritual means 10 minutes, and I don't
Right.
think she would have been gone that long. You
No,
can
no, I wouldn't have done it
Right,
now.
right.
So.
Okay.
That's why I wanted you to spill the beans, Chris. But anyway. Okay.
Um, well, is there anything else I can do for you folks while you're in town? I know coming to a new place can be scary sometimes, but especially with everything you said about these mushrooms, but I'm happy to help. I have beds if you need a place to stay and plenty more soup and salad. Um,
Do you have any breadsticks?
Oh, yes. And I could actually prepare some now if you'd like.
On second thought, um, thank you.
Okay,
Has
please.
it just been you and your husband living here?
Uh, yeah, just the two of us. He goes and collects the plants from the lake. I sell them at the market. We've been doing it that way for years now.
Do you have any children, Amba?
Um, she seems confused by your question at first, and then says, "Mm, no, we've never had any children. Like I said, just been the two of us."
Oh, okay. Forgive my forwardness. You just seem like such a lovely woman. I think you would make
Oh,
for a great
thank you,
mother.
thank you.
I've heard otherwise.
I'm sorry.
She's a nasty one.
I've heard otherwise.
That and her expression kind of drops, and she says, "Look,
That you have a child.
there there are a lot of rumors about my husband, but I trust him fully. And I don't know what you might have heard from some of the other less caring townsfolk, but my husband is completely faithful to me."
Can
That's
I
not at all what I'm suggesting.
is she like trying to think of an excuse for lack of knowledge at
Roll
this point?
insight.
Yes, please. Oh boy.
Oh.
All right, hold on. Lilavati, you've been carefully watching a lot of things this whole conversation that you've been having with her, and you're picking up on a few different things. Some of them are obvious, like the way she dealt with the plants was kind of weird. Trying to figure out what her goals are and everything. And you're fairly confident based on the way that she's been acting, the things that she's said. She has, uh, and so yeah, you're correct in assuming that she's just trying to, she did not believe that she had a son, but is trying to cover for that lack of knowledge with the way she's answering these questions. But in addition to that, you you you're fairly confident that she is not human, even though she appears to be human.
Okay.
You're not sure what she is, but something about the way she doesn't seem to fit in some way. Like she's trying to do human actions and she does a good job of passing it off, but not a perfect job. And you're able to pick up on that. Like when she like carries things around, like she kind of fumbles with them a bit and she doesn't seem comfortable in like her own clothes in this house, even though she says she's been living here for years. Um, and you also kind of pick up that like she has she's trying to get on the party's good side and doing a very good job of that, or like what she thinks is a good job of it. And all of her kindness is kind of a ploy to get you to like her and trust her. What the end goal of that is, you're not 100% sure, but there might be some clues in there that might help you figure that out. But there's definitely something inhuman about just the way she acts, the way she talks, the way she communicates with people. And you kind of picked up on that on some of the other people who like guided you towards her. And it's most like she's the best at faking humanity, I guess. Uh, but yeah, that's what you get with that role. So we
Fuck is this shit?
can. You have any questions about that answer, or you want to jump back into it?
Of course I do, but I can't ask them right now.
Sure. Okay.
Sure, that's a Discord animated thing.
Hey,
No, it's a Pokemon.
Yeah, I think that's what's that? Is that Oshawott, William?
Chris,
that's me.
not Chris. Chris, is there any reason why I reloaded Discord and it is just the spinning and I can't see anything
On Discord?
on Discord? Like it crashed on me during the break and then I pulled it back up and it's just been trying to load this whole time. But I can still hear you guys.
Huh.
Honestly, it just crashed for me too.
Weird.
Look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what I say.
Yeah. I mean,
Don't fix it.
the only
Well, no,
thing,
it is broke. I can't see anything.
but it's not 100% broke.
Do you see me?
If it ain't broke,
So if you go to the little taskbar in the bottom right and hit the arrow, there should be a Discord icon somewhere probably, although there's not for me. There normally is. I don't know. Never
Oh
mind.
no, there's no icon. It's just like it's trying to load up and it's not loading up.
Yeah.
task manager kill the program, I guess.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that
then
would
Close
probably.
Discord, it doesn't actually
Or
close.
just take a picture of it. You know, either one.
Take your computer, throw it in the dumpster.
Okay.
I knew it.
let's see.
Holy fuck.
It's new.
Instructions unclear.
Yeah, we
Get stuff
can
in
wait a
dumpster.
minute while you resolve that if you want.
Alright, everyone screenshot. Damn it. I was gonna say screenshot Liam's face
There
as
we
the
go.
camera.
I hear the boy.
I have returned.
Y'all know they have every Cartoon Network on HBO Max.
All of the networks?
They got them.
Wow.
They have gun.
I don't know.
Spice? Got Spice?
Taylor, your video's gone.
it's okay. I have a furry friend.
We're not allowed to view his visage.
He's like on top of me, and it's a little disorienting.
I have mixed feelings about what you just said.
I don't.
Just so
The
you know,
image,
I'm
the image would really help with the context. I'm just saying.
No, it wouldn't.
11:55.
Subscribe to
Right.
my OnlyFans.
Alrighty. Does anyone remember where we left off with that conversation?
You whispered to
Yeah,
K-Ball?
but
Oh,
the conversation between you and Amba. I forgot what the last thing that was.
Yeah, yeah. We asked, we're talking about her son.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So she said, yeah. There may have been rumors of my husband, but I believe he is truly faithful, and has always been. So.
I said, that's
Am I sitting near Lav as he's about to speak?
That's up to you.
Well, yes, at the table, I'll like put my hands on the table and I'll stand up.
You do so.
I tire of this charade. What are you?
She seems shocked and says, I'm sorry, what are you talking about?
You're no human.
I cast Zone of Truth.
Okay, so that's a charisma saving throw, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it is.
Alrighty. Oh, why is it?
doesn't
Anyway.
taste good. Tastes like metal.
And what's the save DC?
The save
It's invisible.
DC.
It's a glass.
I forgot where that would be.
On your spell book in the lower left corner.
You know shit's going down. Kevin says
16.
charade.
I think I used it in many campaigns. At least once.
Use what?
It's our It's our battle cry. The word
The word
charade.
charade.
The tire of the charade.
What is a man?
I don't know why all of my rolls and things are coming from Bahu because he hasn't been around in like 10 sessions.
Who is a gamer though?
He's the real campaign villain, and we all know it.
He's the god of the multiverse. Is it because I had his token selected at some point? Wait, oh, I think I know why. I found it. Release character.
You're
I'm just
just
gonna.
stalling, Chris. Come on.
I'm waiting for Sarkovan to tell me his. Did you find your save DC?
16.
16? Okay. Yeah, so also everyone needs to roll because everyone's within 15 feet, and I don't think you can exclude people.
Oh, shit.
But you can tell that she failed the saving throw.
Who are you?
She says, I am, and then like, it seems like something catches in her throat, and she's like, I,
Hmm.
and then she just doesn't say anything.
I feel like I want to
Chris.
blast her, but I also don't want to make a mistake.
Chris, I was finally just logged out of D&D Beyond.
Oh,
However many months after you change your password, and now I can't get back in.
well, it should all be in Foundry at least, unless there's something specific you want to look up.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
What is the charisma saving throw? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Law of passes.
Wait, why do I have +3?
Because you're a sorcerer, and that's your proficiency bonus at level 5.
So,
Lilvati cannot lie for the time being.
what am I doing? Wisdom save?
Charisma save.
Charisma save.
Charisma save. Oh, +7? Ooh.
Takara fails.
I can't see the saves. Did I succeed?
Did you roll it?
I think so. Unless I'm just severely lagged.
That might be it. Sometimes you got like, oh, there it
There
goes.
he is.
Oh,
There
okay.
you go. Yeah, so she seems to not be able to answer your question, or at least the answer she's trying to give, she is not able to give.
I step forward, right in front of her. You should answer our questions.
She says, and what if I don't?
I step another step closer.
Roll intimidation.
Yeah, buddy.
She says,
I want to cast Mage Hand to grab onto her leg. Continue.
okay. She says, well, if you want to know the truth, you'll just have to go find out for yourself. And she grabs a kitchen knife off the table and stabs it into her heart. And then she
As she grabs the knife, I want to yank her down on the
make
floor.
a spellcasting ability check. So charisma for you.
Can I, as she's grabbing the knife as well, can I cast Hold Person?
That would be, oh wait, you make an initiative check against her. This is not a rolling initiative. This is an initiative check.
I'll just.
What am I rolling?
Charisma check, because you're a sorcerer and that's how you cast
Let's
spells.
do a dex check.
Yeah, dex check is fine. Oh, and then she needs to make the saving throw against the spell.
Damn, man. We're rolling like shit.
Okay, what's your saving throw? 16?
DC 16.
Yeah,
16.
so she like leaps for the knife, and her hand is like 3 inches away from it. When she just freezes in place as Lilavati channeled the spell on her.
I'm gonna walk over to the knife and grab it and just stab it into the ceiling so she can't reach it.
I would like to restrain her with lightning lure.
What does lightning lore do?
I mean, it's a damaging cantrip. Is there a way I can just do it like non-lethally? Just to hold
Yeah,
it
you'll
in
just need
place?
to make an intelligence check to do so.
Okay.
He's gonna kill her by
Yeah.
By yanking her
Well,
Well,
plus
actually, you know,
one.
never mind. Wait, Lilavati just did hold
Yeah,
person,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, no, never mind then.
It's not permanent.
Well, it looks like lightning lore is like you can like grab someone and kind of pull them close to you, which may help, but it's
That's
not
right. It
like
only
a
does damage if I get close to her, I think, or
yeah.
if they get close to me.
But it's not like hold person is designed for kind of like holding person, like preventing someone from doing anything. Lightning lore can like you can like pull someone close to you, and it would like stop her from grabbing the knife, but only for a couple seconds, if that makes sense, as opposed to hold person, which is a little bit longer term.
Okay, I guess my idea was I want to try and like have her restrained. That way, when hold person wears off, she's still like not able to do anything. Was
Yeah,
my
I don't
idea.
think lightning lore would be the right thing for that, but you can certainly just
Does
grab
anyone
her
have a
or
50
I might
feet of
just
captive rope?
yeah. Do we have like? Is there like rope or something that we could tie like her?
what's in your inventory.
I hand her a rope.
Oh gee, let me check my giant. Oh wait, that's right. I have a lot of
Everyone should
things in
have
my
rope.
inventory. My many
I
items.
keep my rope.
How do I not have rope?
Not everybody starts with it. Depends on what stuff you picked when you created your character.
Just
Yeah,
most
okay.
people.
I tie her hands and feet with rope
Okay.
while she's being held in person.
Yeah. It's kind of awkward because her arms are like spread as she's like diving for the knife, and you have to kind of like tie like one to the other. So like, and it's like I guess you can kind of push her arms together so she's unable to move it. So you're able to push her arms together and tie it up or whatever, however you want. But yeah, so she's tied up. I'm gonna have her make another saving throw after you do that. Still paralyzed.
Also, wait, I don't think she can speak either.
No.
Once she's like successfully like tied up, I'll just drop the spell
Okay.
since we need information.
She just kind of collapses into a chair, but like with her arms tied, and just kind of glares at you.
Reveal yourself. Put my wand on her.
How long does the zone of truth last?
Good question. Only 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, I would like to cast Charm Person.
Okay.
The wombo combo.
Are those both concentration spells?
I would wait until the duration ended on
Okay.
Zone
I
of
mean, it's
Truth.
been like a minute or two since you first cast it, so you still have a little bit of
Okay.
time on it.
Alright.
She says, "What you see is what I am. I am no illusion."
I'm gonna walk up to her and try to do the thing where I like begin to cast Lesser Restoration and see if she gets the same green skin thing.
You begin casting it. You do not see any green skin thing. Do you want to continue casting the spell?
No, but oh, I only have two of those. But I'll relay that information to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I walk up to her
Mm-hmm.
and I cast Dispel Magic.
Oh, that's what I was wishing I had in this moment. Yes.
You channel your energy to remove whatever spell might be affecting her or whatever magic might be in place here. Nothing happens.
Ooh, okay. I will cast Detect Poison and Disease.
We haven't tried the Levati's Flame.
Can you read that to me?
Yes. Can sense the presence and location of poisons, poisonous creatures, and diseases within 30 feet. Can also identify the kind of poison, poisonous creature, or disease in each case.
All right, you cast that spell, and well, no, there is not any poison or disease in the immediate vicinity.
Motherfucking bullshit. You know what? I'll relay that to the group as well. This is, she is not poisoned or diseased, nor is she a poisonous creature.
As you're just casting all these spells on her, she just starts like laughing. Like, I don't know what you think I am, but if you want to know, all you have to do is go to the temple at the bottom of the lake.
I'm gonna start ritual casting Detect Magic.
Okay.
I have that, but I don't want to cast it because I've already used 2 of my spells.
I'm indisposed for 10 minutes.
I'd say y'all can try one more thing before the zone of truth wears off, or ask like maybe 1 or 2 more questions.
Are you actually the woman that you pretend to be? Or,
It's a loaded question.
which is why I'm giving an or. Is your name really Ambra? Amba.
She just looks at you and says, "Haven't you figured out the answer to that already?"
That doesn't sound like the answer of a truthful. What? You could have just not answered. I mean, shit. You look like.
Is what you are related to the fungus that infected the Eochora tree?
And I'll say this will be the last thing she said before the zone of truth wears off. She says, "I have no idea what you're talking about, but that information is quite useful. Thank you. I'll definitely have to look into that later."
As soon as I feel my zone of truth wearing off,
Hmm?
I then cast Charm Person.
What is the
Wisdom saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
It's charmed by me if it fails.
It should be the same DC, the 16, so yeah, it fails.
Okay. The charmed creature regards me as a friendly acquaintance. When the spell ends, it knows it was charmed by me. This lasts for an hour.
Okay.
I figure we'll end up no worse than where we started, if this yields us nothing.
So she kind of shakes her head for a bit, looks down, and says, so is there anything else I can get for you nice folks? Any other things you might want to know about Kanatra?
Just let me know when my Detect Magic.
Probably like a minute or 2 left on that.
Okay.
Ask her her name. Do it.
What's your name?
A name? I mean, most folks just call me Amba because that's who I'm imitating, but I don't really have a name. So I don't.
Right.
None of us do.
So, does your husband have the same opinion about that as you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You say none. Okay. Shit. Let me let my spell wear off.
I mean, you can mention a question.
Okay.
Wow.
You say none of us. How many more of you are there here?
Let's see. There's probably about 2 dozen or so podlings in the village.
Oh shit.
This ominous bullshit. Make it stop.
So it pings. It pings the spell.
Your spell finishes, and how do I put this?
I'm gonna read it.
There's, I mean, I've used it plenty of times myself.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, there's definitely supernatural things going on here. I would say you're able to, like, in the sense of like stuff here is happening that is could not happen on Earth. I guess it's the best way I can put it. But it's not the effect of some spell or magic incantation. Does that make sense? Like, dragons are magical in a way, but they're not. Like, it's
So
like
there's a faint magical aura around this creature, though.
sort of like I'm trying to think of how to describe it.
I understand.
Yeah, it's not like a spell is cast on her or
Because of the
she's not
creature
the
itself.
creation of it's not like there's different like levels of magic and it's not like oh this is obviously magic and you can look up in a spell book this is the magic that happened here but there is like there's an innate magic to everything in the world and there's a little bit more of that innate magic here going on that makes it something strange but that's as much as you can figure out from that spell I suppose.
What about So there's no magic possessing this creature then, like a spell.
No, the vibe that you get is this creature is somewhat
Right.
supernatural in a way. It's not.
And
It has abilities, or it has like a aura to it that is different from a natural person, but the same that you would kind of find from creatures with innate magic, sort of. But it's a
okay.
very, very subtle presence that you're picking up on.
Okay. And then items?
Um, other than what if your party members have any magical items, that's all that you pick up.
Okay.
I whisper to Sorkovan to ask what happened to the people that impersonating or imitating.
You kind of glitched out for me for a second there. What'd you say?
I ask you to. I whisper to you to ask her what happened to the people they're imitating.
So, what all happened to the real Amba and her husband?
Oh, well, I mean, I wasn't around at the time, but I presume at some point she, ventured to the temple at the bottom of the lake, met the mighty dominant Vothtok, was consumed by him, and that's when I was born.
You don't want to
Yep.
drop that
Yeah.
one in the.
Yeah, please.
I'm sorry. The mighty dominance.
The mighty duck, yes.
Oh,
Should we perhaps notify the son?
At some point.
Bring him here so he can see for himself.
well, we at least need to tell the guards. Keep her from, I don't know, stabbing herself.
I would maybe keep this information on the down low for now, because if there are other podlings dispersed throughout the town here, namely that boy, other such creatures, it could be dangerous for the innocents here if word got out that we knew, right?
Perhaps we should figure out who these other ones are.
I I turn back towards whatever this thing is. Um, do you know the other podlings?
Um, oh yeah. And then she just starts listing off names, and
I
there's
wanna I wanna try and write them down
yeah,
on
that's no
pen.
problem. I mean, she is treats you as a friend and is happy to. And then after that, she says, you'll be joining us, of course. The uh the world will only be healthier and more efficient once uh Valtak is in control. Um, and if you would simply submit yourself to his will, why things will just be better for all of us.
Does he have any weaknesses?
Oh, of course not. He is uh sorry. He's a perfect organism in every way. Nothing anything that might be considered a weakness is simply a lack of perspective.
Please describe his magnificence.
All right, one
I'd like
second.
to bask in the glory of description.
Baskin.
And perhaps provide us with a JPEG.
PNG
No,
preferred.
no, you're not gonna image this from a description, but I'll give you a pretty detailed description.
Do you have any NFTs of this creature?
We will take an MP4.
Well, if you pay me a small fee of only $200, I'll provide an NFT that you and you alone have access to, even though anyone on the internet can download it. Um, she says,
I'm in.
let's see. Oh,
Did you say he?
he,
He says.
sorry, she says he, uh, actually, no, she would say, she would refer to it as it. Um, it has a beautiful green bulb nearly 15 feet across that grows out of the earth. Um, it has four long, magnificent vines, each ending with pink tips that are covered in spikes, perfect for collecting those who might join with it and become one. Um,
Did that remind
and
me of the plant that she has?
not at all.
Oh,
In the center of his beautiful bulb is a gaping maw with six pods, and in these pods is where you become one with Vothtak as he consumes your essence, and then creates a podling like myself that goes out and seeks to bring his glory to the world. Um, Quite a magnificent creature, and I am very excited for you to meet it.
Well, he sounds truly. God, my accent is all over the place today. Just a truly magnificent. Um, it's me, Eochora. But what the those who are so blasphemously, ignorantly claim this thing to have any weakness whatsoever, what do they dare say of this? What kind of weaknesses do they claim him to have?
Hmm. I would say even with this would require a persuasion check, but with advantage because she's charmed.
Okay.
how long does that last? A minute?
An hour.
An hour?
She says, oh, I mean, the druids of this city have been trying for years to find a way to destroy him or destroy it, but of course that's impossible. Sure, they try to cut him down, but of course he regrows. No time at all. And they've been vigilant, I'll give them that, at keeping him from producing more podlings until yours truly emerged. Um, but you see, some some other podlings that had been spying on these druids. Um, wait, actually, she says, but yeah, but until now they haven't figured out any way to permanently destroy him because such a thing is just simply impossible. As long as he exists, it exists in this world. Beauty and perfection exist in this world, and that is something that you cannot destroy.
What about these other podlings spying on the druids? What was that? Was that
She wouldn't have said that. That was a
Freudian's
DM making a mistake.
I
DM?
Because that wouldn't
roll
have been possible.
persuasion check on the DM.
DC 200.
I mean,
Am I right?
what she said was there. She was the first podling, um, and she emerged when for some reason, the druids stopped cutting down, um, or destroying Vothtok. What she's implying is that Vothok has been around for a long time, and the druids were basically destroying him over and over again, but he kept regrowing. But recently, they didn't, and then Amba emerged as the first podling in recent memory. Um, which is why I realized there would be no way for there to be spies on the druids.
Okay. Question: Should I? This is more to the group. Should I send for Son? Come and see this thing, and to hear that it is not his mother, and to hear the truth about his mother? Or do you think that would maybe be a bit dangerous? My worry is that
I think Senajit deserves the right to know the truth about his mother. And though it may be hard for him to hear, this is a matter of life and death.
my worry is that he doesn't believe this. That he sees his mother as his mother, and perhaps thinks it's a trick of some sort. Turns on us. That's the worst case scenario, of course.
If he doesn't reveal that he is in fact the son of Amba and we forewarn him, then he can judge for himself that she feigns ignorance about his existence and that his mother would never actually do that.
Good point. Alright. Should I send for him?
Yeah.
Right. A tiny little note. And put it in Sirius's beak. Send her off.
What specifically do you tell him?
So Sir Coven, you said to have him come, I guess to meet us, or to meet at in front of his mother's home
That
immediately.
seems like a good idea. Should we say anything about
We can explain it to him when he gets here outside.
his lizard folk female bodyguard friend Zianya?
I can tell him to come alone.
I don't believe he would want to come alone.
He probably doesn't.
We should.
Seems no.
I think it better to invite her so that she doesn't suspect anything.
Of course, and I doubt she would let him come alone.
Indeed.
All right. Anything else? Serious. Be safe.
All right, so you're just saying you're asking both of them to come. And not saying
to
anything else?
come meet us in front of the house,
Hmm.
uh, and to come immediately.
Okay. All right. Sirius flies off. You probably have a couple minutes at least before he gets there. Is there anything you want to do in that time, or just wait outside?
When he arrives,
Yeah.
we would
So,
like to.
I'll
well,
have some of this. I'll have some of the salad.
you take a bite. Um,
Yep.
it is delicious. And there's one other thing.
I don't care.
What? What is happening?
All right, I sent you a
I
message.
don't know.
God damn it.
Um, so
I keep a
y'all,
close eye on the Levanti.
okay. Um, so
Levati, what are you doing? Why would you eat this? Goodness gracious.
Food. We've confirmed that she has nothing to do with the fungus, and I've looked at it through a trained eye, and there's nothing wrong with it. And I'm hungry.
Well, go ahead and eat. Goodness.
I cast friends on the salad and then eat it.
you reach out with your magical energy, but do not find
Friend.
any sentience to create. Now, if you had the spell Speak with Plants, on the other hand, well, I guess it's dead, so you need Speak with Dead as well. Um,
Speak with your
I
plants.
cast Purify Food and Drink. No, I don't do that.
okay. Uh, so do you wait inside or outside for Sonajit?
Who would like to bear the news?
Takara will stay inside guarding, just making sure that she stays tied up.
I'll also stay inside.
I will also stay inside.
I guess we're bearing the news. I guess I.
I will come with you.
Oh, thank goodness. Alright.
Alright. So the two of you step
Hold on.
outside. Hmm.
I'd like to look at my friend and point my wand at the rune that's is it I guess it's I think I have my garb up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have my garb up. So I'm gonna pull my mask down and Sirkovi, you haven't seen this before because I usually disguise myself, but I've got this kind of rune around my mouth. I point my wand at that and like glows, and it kind of like it's like I just touched a stove or something, and my hand just like pressed on the stove though, and it lights up, and I just kind of whip my wand at you, and you immediately feel I guess you I don't know, but maybe you'll see this rune light up around or you'll see this kind of glow around your mouth, and then it'll disappear. But I cast Enhance Ability Eagle Splendor upon you, so you have advantage on charisma checks.
Nice.
Cool. All right. So the two of you step outside, while the other three remain inside, keeping watch on the Amba podling, and you see, as you've learned all this information about what's going on here, but still not fully grasping what to do or how to resolve it. You see Senajit um, with Zayanya walking towards you at a fairly brisk pace. He seems pretty nervous as he heads towards you. Um, and you do what you can to prepare to give him the news that His mother has been consumed by some sort of being. That's where we're going to end tonight's session, and we'll pick up with that next time. So, thanks for playing, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed it.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
god.
Thank you.
Did
So many
indeed.
notes from this session.